This is a continuation of an open letter number 4 with regards to Boys and Men. This is the fourth open letter. Here's the thing, we went over why you don't want boys, you want boys in your businesses, just like you want boys with, boys winning mentality, damn the consequences in your Formula One driving. But you don't want that same type of people in your political class. Win at any cost, fuck it. I'm here to win for us, win for my tribe, win for my people. This only ends up in war, civil war, international war. So we reached the conclusion that the only good political class would be the people who can put themselves in the other guy's shoes. Defensive driver. Instead of Formula One driver, you need defensive driver. People who are wise enough, who have been, have educated themselves enough to be able to put themselves in the other guy's shoes. Now, the reality is, would these guys be elected or electable by population? Population, forgive me, when you spend more money, the idea is if you spend more money in the West, you have higher chances of getting elected. So you think the population is, steadfast supporter of one or other? If you say anybody, 99% of the time, anybody who spends more money, is donated by rich people, wins. So pretty much it's an easy bet that whoever has more money wins most of the time, whether from this party or that party. When the party, at least in the primaries, whoever has more backing and more money wins, at least 99% of the time. So that means the public are not exactly, a source of comfort in terms of, thinking that they know what's best and they vote for what's good, because you can persuade them to vote one way or another if you spend more money, either way. So that's why, for example, let's say somebody who doesn't have a chance of getting elected but would make an excellent politician, as long as she sticks to her word. Marianne Williamson. She by definition of her job, she's a writer. And by definition, a writer is somebody who puts himself or herself into another guy's shoes and speaks for them, writes what they have said. He said this and she said that. She's a fiction writer. Used to be, is. But the point is this: by definition, she's used to putting herself into other guys' shoes and trying to understand the world from his or her perspective. That's exactly somebody you want in politics. Or people like that are exactly who you want in politics. People who are flexible enough, who have the mentality that I have to put myself in the other guy's shoe, and then when I sit with the guy at the table, we can reach some kind of compromise. They're not there to win. They're not winning boys like Charlie Sheen. It's not that. If you look at politics as, winning, I want my guy to be a winner, you're asking for war. And you're asking for war. Sooner, later, doesn't matter. War. George W. Bush was a winner. A businessman or wannabe businessman who, was a Formula One driver, was very erratic, wasn't he? In his decision making, in his acts, in his behavior, not very well educated, very erratic, flew with the seat of his pants, on the seat of his pants. This is what happened. The more boyish type you choose, the more bad shit is going to happen. because boys are there, they have a chip on their shoulder, they're there to prove something. That's Bush. Clinton, all his thing, his boy who can't keep his penis in his pants. Okay. Who else? The last gentleman in office currently. It's all about, we got to win for Zionism. Okay. Why? What is it to you? What's the purpose of, displacing the native population of one land to bring in some other people from another part of the sphere, the planet, into to settle down in this part of the land because the weather is better? It's about winning. It's about nothing else. It's about winning with these folks. And the other gentleman, Mr. Trump, who, he literally said in his campaign that I'm going to win, you're going to win so much, you're going to get tired of winning. Got a lot of laughs, but that's who the public likes. The public doesn't understand that politics is not like business. When you win, the other guy just doesn't declare bankruptcy, sell the machinery, and all his people will come work for you. That doesn't happen in politics. If when you win and the other side has lost everything, is cornered, that's when the other guy lashes out and you have war. Ring any bell? Germany, World War II. Before World War II, they were cornered. Before World War One, they were cornered by the British. Before World War II, the Germans were also again cornered by the British, the French, over payment for the war. There's a word for it. Reparations for war. Cornered. Both the first time cornered because Germany doesn't have many colonies in Africa. Didn't have many colonies in Africa because it was cornered by the British. British got all the colonies. Germans were after World War One. They were cornered again because of reparations. They had to inflate to the moon and then go to war. This is the result of cornering Gaza. You have cornered them so much that they have gone underground. White people from Europe have moved into the neighborhood and they have cornered the native brown skin so much that they had to go underground. Russia was cornered. They got a Black Sea fleet that they keep it in the Black Sea. They like to keep it in the Black Sea and they don't want NATO next door. They want NATO a little farther down. The boys decided that no, we need to show we got a bigger penis. Mr. John McCain, who said, Russia is a gas station with an army, nuclear weapons. Okay, what does that mean? That means we can beat them real fast, right? I'm sorry, Mr. John McCain, until the day he died, he was a boy. A boy. Boyish mentality. A fly boy. He was a fly boy. Formula One driver, fly boy, ring any bell, we're back at square one. You choose your leaders who are Formula One drivers with the Formula One driving mentality. So they go for the jugular every time. It's winning or nothing. We gotta win. What? You want to kill a couple of million people? Is that what you have in mind? What was won in Vietnam? What was won in Korea? What was won in Afghanistan? What was won in Iraq? What was won in Panama? What was won in Mexico? What was won in El Salvador, Nicaragua? What is it that you think you're going to win with Russia or China, beside millions of dead people? What is the winning part? And is it worth it? It's like, yeah, we killed 50 million of them. They only killed 20 million of us. So we won. And both the whole fucking planet is wrecked. I think I could be wrong. I've been wrong often. But I mean, you need personalities who are truly, whether Marianne Williamson truly thinks that way, or like Zelensky, she's just also play acting, and as soon as she gets into office, like Zelensky, she will start the war. I don't know, because this one man executive system is not good. It's king for 4 years, and whatever that king does, apparently everybody has to go along with it, just like they did with George W. Bush. Not a good idea. You need checks and balances, and the checks and balances on one king is the two other kings. If you have a council of presidents, 3 members, you got 9 member judiciary, you got a couple of hundreds of members of House, you got 100 member in Senate. Why just one judiciary? At least 3 members. So when a new member goes in, they have to debate and come to a unanimous decision. This is bullshit. That so anybody can come and say anything, like Mr. Zelensky, but as soon as they get in the office, they do whatever they like, the opposite of what they promised, and then they annul elections. Next elections, they said that they totally abolished the coming elections. They said, no, we are in war. You can't change me. I promised you peace, and the promise was I'm in charge for only 4 years. Now I gave you war, and you can't change me either. So now you have a lifetime king of Mr. Zelensky, who it's a lifetime until he decides. Until there is no war with Russia, is not going to end. Until I guess he decides, he's a lifetime king, who also promised peace but came into office and he has winning on his mind too. Because he's a fucking actor. A cheap actor. You can't even say an actor. He used to, he's a showman. I mean, Al Pacino would do a much better job being a president of Ukraine than this guy. This is the thing. This is the thing. Imagine a council of presidents in the United States. Imagine you have Marianne Williamson, then you have Rand Paul, and then you have somebody from the right, Mr. Let's say one of the extreme ones, the guy from Texas, Ted Cruz. You have these guys in a council of presidents, as council of presidents, and at least there is some checks and balances there. Even if George W. Bush finds his way into the council of presidents, the other two are not going to listen to the crazy man, listen to the boy with a chip on his shoulder. For fuck's sakes, it was written all over George W. Bush that he's going to fuck up. He had a bunch of businesses that he went bankrupt, even as a businessman, looking for a winner at any cost. With all the connections he had, he still couldn't make it work. But his mindset was still, a winner. A Formula One driver, a very bad Formula One driver. Multiple, Mr. George W. Bush has crashed his businesses multiple times. John McCain crashed his plane multiple times. All these warmongers are, Formula One drivers who have shown in the past that they are not cautious, they are not defensive drivers, they are in fact Formula One drivers. They like to win at any cost, work harder, work faster, work stronger, be smarter, smash them up. What did they achieve? What does this winning achieve? At least in business, winning achieves something. They're treating politics on earth as business to win something. This winning mentality. In politics, there is no winning. The only people who win in politics are the ones who don't want to win. The only people who win in politics are the ones who really don't want to win. They don't want to win with China. They don't want to win against Russia. They don't want to win against Germany. They don't want to win against South Africa. These are the great politicians. These are the Nelson Mandelas of the world. Not planning on winning, planning on coexisting. Which one of your recent executive leaders have been of this variety? The German guy, he's a bureaucrat through and through. And bureaucrats are, they have very sharp elbows, and winning for bureaucrats who reach those stages is a very important. Bureaucrats who reach very high stages, they are also in a way Formula One drivers, because they have won reaching the highest level of bureaucracy. Emmanuel Macron, before becoming president, he was one of the top bureaucrats in the State Department or whatever equivalent of it the French has. These bureaucrats, Mrs. Clinton, the other lady who started shit in Ukraine, Mrs. Nolan, these women have gone up through the bureaucratic system. They think bureaucratic. They also don't understand the compromise thing. And especially they're women, so winning and domination is important for them because they feel insecure. None of these guys make good decisions. Neither boys nor women. One tries to dominate out of insecurity, that is women, and boys try to dominate and win because, they have boyish vigor. They have to prove themselves. I have a feeling Mr. Macron is still trying to prove himself to his wife, his mom, or his dad, whatever role he or she plays for Mr. Macron. He's still trying to prove himself to that older person in that relationship. Yeah, I have a big dick too. Okay, let's go kill 10, 20, 30 million people so you can prove to your boyfriend or girlfriend that you have a big penis. But the populace is not excited about Marianne Williamson or about Marianne Williamson mentality that no, we need to sit down, talk. I will put myself in your shoes and you put yourself in my shoes. See what kind of compromise we can come up with. We don't need to expand. Expansion of NATO was a cure for a sickness, an illness that didn't exist. You try to fix something by expansion of NATO that wasn't broken. So you try to fix it and fix it and fix it until you broke it. Now it's broken. Casualties up to now, at least 1 million people. Let's say 500,000. At least. Up to now, they're still in Europe. The French, the British, this woman, insecure Italian woman, the fucking British. Previously was that Boris Johnson was a boy. Everybody knew he couldn't keep his pants, dick in his pants. The new one, Rishi Sunak, private school. He looks like a fucking boy. Private school, private upbringing, lots of money, very rich. Never had a bad day in his life. Never had a shitty day in his life. Never, never, you know, also skipped military as well, like Mr. Macron. So, but he's very hawkish. Yes, we have to go show him, you know, teach him a lesson that he never learned. It's like you look at him and like you feel, you know, you push him, he's going to break. This is Rishi Sunak. It doesn't matter the color of his skin. He's a boy. That's why he's you know, he's trigger happy. The one who went with George Bush to war in Iraq, another young boy, trigger happy. Boys will not fix the problem. Look for men. Look for people who understand the concept of putting yourself in the other guy's shoes.